Heart Hospital Websites by U.S. State. Chapter 1. Heart Hospital Websites by U.S. State from the agapecenter.com/hospital/heart.htm. heartcenter.info, heartcenter.info, a worldwide directory for heart centers and hospitals. Arizona. azheart.com, Arizona Heart Institute and Hospital. Phoenix.gov, Phoenix, Arizona. bannerhealth.com/location/Arizona/Baywood+heart+hospital, Banner Baywood Heart Hospital. cityofmesa.org, Mesa, Arizona. TucsonHeartHospital.com, Tucson Heart Hospital. TucsonAZ.gov, Tucson, Arizona. Arkansas. arheart.com, Arkansas Heart Hospital. littlerock.org, Little Rock, Arkansas. California. bakersfieldhearthospital.com, Bakersfield Heart Hospital. ci.bakersfield.ca.us, Bakersfield, California. cedars-sinai.edu/heart center, Cedars-Sinai Heart Center. lacytie.org, Los Angeles, California. llu.edu/ihi, Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. ci.loma-linda.ca.us, Loma Linda, California. heartcenter.lpch.org, Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, Children's Heart Center. cityofpaloalto.org, Palo Alto, California. Connecticut. heart.uc.edu, Pat and Jim Calhoun Cardiology Center. farmington-ct.org, Farmington, Connecticut. Florida. heartoftampa.com, Heart Institute at Regional Medical Center Bayonet Point, Hudson, Pasco County. fl.net, Pasco County, Florida. msmc.com, Miami Heart Institute and Medical Center. miamibeachfl.gov, Miami Beach. miamidade.gov, Miami-Dade County, Florida. pepinheart.org, Pepin Heart Hospital. tampagov.net, Tampa. hillsborocounty.org, Hillsborough County, Florida. Georgia. archboldheartandvascular.org, Archbold Heart and Vascular Center. thomasvillega.com, Thomasville. thomascountybuck.org, Thomas County, Georgia. choa.org/cardiology/sibley.shtml, Sibley Heart Center, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. ci.atlanta.ga.us, Atlanta, Georgia. Hawaii. hawaiiheartbrain.org, Hawaii Heart Brain Center. camuella.com, Camuella, Hawaii. hawaiipacifichealth.org/heart-services/straub-heart-center.aspx, Straub Heart Center. co.honolulu.hi.us, Honolulu, Hawaii. Idaho. stalphonsus.org/svc_heart.html, St. Alphonsus Heart and Vascular Center. cityofboise.org, Boise. adaweb.net, Ada County, Illinois. swedishamerican.org/heart_hospital, Heart Hospital at Swedish American. cityofrockford.net, Rockford, Illinois. prairieheart.com, Prairie Heart Institute. springfield.il.us, Springfield, Illinois. Indiana. evansvilleheartcenter.com, Evansville Heart Center. vanderburg.gov.org/evans/index.asp, Evansville, Indiana. hearthospital.com, Indiana Heart Hospital, the. indigov.org, Indianapolis, Indiana. Iowa. genesisheart.com, Genesis Heart Institute. cityofdavenport.iowa.com, Davenport, Iowa. uihealthcare.com/department/ui-heartcare/index.html, University of Iowa Heart Care. icgov.org, Iowa City, Iowa. Kansas. kansasheart.com, Kansas Heart Hospital. wichitagov.org, Wichita, Kansas. Louisiana. HearthOSpitalofLafayette.com, Heart Hospital of Lafayette. LafayetteGov.org, Lafayette, Louisiana. Oxner.org/services/heart_vascular, John Oxner Heart and Vascular Institute. CityofNo.com, New Orleans, Louisiana. LouisianaHeartHospital.com, Louisiana Medical Center and Heart Hospital, Lacombe. SDPGov.org, St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. Maryland. UMM.edu/heart, Maryland Heart Center. BaltimoreCity.gov, Baltimore, Maryland. Michigan. Beaumont-hospitals.com, Beaumont Heart Center. ci.royal-oak.mi.us, Royal Oak. oakgov.com, Oakland County, Michigan. irmc.org/body.cfm?id=103, Chi Heart and Surgery Center, the. cityoflansingme.com, Lansing. Ingham.org, Ingham County, Michigan. bronsonhealth.com/content_long.asp?menu=N1, Heart Hospital at Bronson, the. KalamazooCity.org, Kalamazoo. KALCounty.com, Kalamazoo County, Michigan. mcrmc.org/body.cfm?id=99, Matt Gabarty Heart Center. cityofmountclemens.com, Mount Clemens. MacombCountyMe.gov, Macomb County, Michigan. McLarenRegional.org/body.cfm?id=41, McLaren Heart and Vascular Center. CityofFlint.com, Flint. co.genesee.mi.us, Genesee County, Michigan. Spectrum-health.org/body_locations.cfm?action=detail&ref=1811, Meyer Heart Center. grcity.us, Grand Rapids. accesskent.com, Kent County, Michigan. med.umich.edu/cvc, University of Michigan Cardiovascular Center at2gov.org, Ann Arbor. ewashtenaw.org, Washtenaw County, Michigan. Minnesota. mnheart.com, Central Minnesota Heart Center, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Missouri. freemanhealth.com, Freeman Heart Institute. joplinmo.org, Joplin, Missouri. St. Luke's Health System.org, Mid-America Heart Institute. kcmo.org, Kansas City. jacksongov.org, Jackson County, Missouri. Montana. benefice.org/pages/default.asp?navid=81%page cat=heart, Benefice Heart and Vascular Institute. ci.great-falls.mt.us, Great Falls. co.cascade.mt.us, Cascade County, Montana. billingsclinic.com/body.cfm?id=329, Billings Clinic Cardiovascular Services. ci.billings.mt.us, Billings. co.yellowstone.mt.us, Yellowstone County, Montana. Nebraska. anyheart.com, Nebraska Heart Institute and Hospital. lincoln.ne.gov, Lincoln. lancaster.ne.gov, Lancaster County, Nebraska. Nevada. children'sheartcenter.com, Children's Heart Center. ci.las-vegas.nv.us, Las Vegas, Nevada. sierraheart.com, Sierra Heart Institute. cityofreno.com, Reno, Nevada. New Jersey. Deborah.org, Deborah Heart and Lung Center, Browns Mills. co.burlington.nj.us, Burlington County, New Jersey. GagnonHeartHospital.org, Gagnon Heart Hospital. Morristown-newjersey.org, Morristown, New Jersey. New Mexico. HeartHospitalNM.com, Heart Hospital of New Mexico. cabq.gov, Albuquerque, New Mexico, New York. nypheart.org, New York Presbyterian Heart. nyc.gov, New York City, New York. rochestergeneralhospital.org, Rochester Heart Institute. cityofrochester.gov, Rochester. monroecounty.gov, Monroe County, New York. stfrancisheartcenter.com, St. Francis Hospital, the Heart Center. historicroslin.org, Roslyn. nassaucounty.gov, Nassau County, New York, Ohio. daytonhearthospital.com, Dayton Heart Hospital. cityofdayton.org, Dayton, Ohio. forumhealth.org, Heart Hospital at Forum Health. warren.org, Warren. regionalchamber.com, Youngstown, Ohio. careconnection.osu.edu/hospitals-and-services/Ross Heart, Richard M. Ross Heart Hospital. columbus.gov, Columbus, Ohio, Oklahoma. stfrancisheart.com, St. Francis Heart Hospital. cityoftulsa.org, Tulsa. tulsacounty.org, Tulsa County, Oklahoma. Oregon. ohvi.org, Oregon Heart and Vascular Institute. City of Eugene, Oregon. eugene-or.gov, Eugene, Oregon. Pennsylvania. jeffersonregional.com/about/facilities/heart_center.html, Heart Institute at Jefferson Regional Medical Center. cityofpittsburgh.net, Pittsburgh. AlleghenyCounty.us, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. jeans.com/content/heart_home.htm, Jeans Heart. Philadelphia.gov, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. heart.templehealth.org, Temple Heart Center. Puerto Rico. Cardiovascular.gobierno.pr, Cardiovascular Center of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. SanJuanCapital.com, San Juan, Puerto Rico. South Carolina. PiedmontMedicalCenter.com/n-us/our services/medical services/pag-es/cardiaccare.aspx, Piedmont Medical Center, Cardiac Care. cityofrockhill.com, Rock Hill. YorkCountyGov.com, York County, South Carolina. South Dakota. SouthDakotaHeart.com, Heart Hospital of South Dakota. SiouxFalls.org, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Tennessee. BMHCC.org/facilities/Memphis/services/Heart, Baptist Heart Institute. cityofmemphis.org, Memphis, Tennessee. Texas. BaylorHealth.com/location/Heart Hospital, Baylor Jack and Jane Hamilton Heart and Vascular Hospital. DallasCityHall.com, Dallas. DallasCounty.org, Dallas County, Texas. CCMedicalCenter.com, Corpus Christi Medical Center, the Heart Hospital. CCTexas.com, Corpus Christi. co.nueces.tx.us, Nueces County, Texas. CovenantHeartInstitute.com, Covenant Heart Institute. ci.lubbock.tx.us, Lubbock. co.lubbock.tx.us, Lubbock County, Texas. HarlingenMedicalCenter.com, Harlingen Medical Center. ci.harlingen.tx.us, Harlingen. co.cameron.tx.us, Cameron County, Texas. BaylorHealth.com/location/Plano Heart Hospital/default.htm, Heart Hospital Baylor Plano. Plano.gov, Plano. co.collin.tx.us, Collin County, Texas. HearthOSPitaloffAustin.com, Heart Hospital of Austin. ci.austin.tx.us, Austin. co.travis.tx.us, Travis County, Texas. saheart.net, Methodist Heart Hospital. sanantonio.gov, San Antonio. Behar.org, Behar County, Texas. MethodistHealthSystem.org, SAM, and N. Kessner Heart Center. TexasHeartInstitute.org, Texas Heart Institute Houston TX.gov, Houston. HCTX.net, Harris County, Texas. TEXSandHeartHospital.com, Texan Heart Hospital. SanAntonio.gov, San Antonio. Behar.org, Behar County, Texas. Virginia. Innova.org/heart/index.jsp, Innova Heart and Vascular Institute. FairfaxVA.gov, Fairfax. FairfaxCounty.gov, Fairfax County, Virginia. CJWMedical.com, Levinson Heart Hospital. RichmondGov.com, Richmond, Virginia. PauleyHeart.vcu.edu, Pauley Heart Center. RichmondGov.com, Richmond, Virginia. Centaura.com/hospitals/facilities/hospital/heart hospital, Centaura Heart Hospital. Norfolk.gov, Norfolk, Virginia. healthsystem.virginia.edu/internet/heart, University of Virginia Heart and Vascular Center. Charlottesville.org, Charlottesville. Washington. peacehealth.org/whatcom/cardio, Cardiovascular Center at St. Joseph Hospital. cob.org, Bellingham, Washington. yakimaregional.org, Yakima Regional Medical and Cardiac Center. ci.yakima.wa.us, Yakima. co.yakima.wa.us, Yakima County, Washington. Wisconsin. HearthOSpitalofMilwaukee.com, Heart Hospital of Milwaukee. Milwaukee.gov, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. twhh.org, Wisconsin Heart Hospital. ci.wauwatosa.wi.us, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Ontario, Canada. OttawaHeart.ca, University of Ottawa Heart Institute. Ottawa.ca, Ottawa, Ontario, on.